Just realised I filmed this whole video with my cupboard door open, so sorry about that, but I'm sure it doesn't take away from the quality of my advice. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking to you about time management in high school and how you can most effectively manage your time. And I have written pages of notes for this video. I've thought about it a lot, got lots of information prepared, and it's going to be a jam-packed video full of tips, tricks and advice. So I'd really appreciate it if you stuck around until the end of the video, because I'm going to be going through all how you should manage your time throughout the week, and then at the end of the video I'm going to give my top tips for time management, and there is a bonus tip in there that I find super important when managing my time. So I'd really appreciate you sticking around to the end of the video, but let's get right into it. So in order to most effectively manage your time in high school, you kind of need to have a 1 to 2 week period where you're experimenting. And during this experimenting phase, you're going to do two main things. The first thing is to find out when you work best. So is it in the morning? Is it after school? Is it late at night? When do you work best? And the second thing is to track your time and see where all of your time is going, so you can see where you're wasting time. It might be on social media, it might be that you're taking too long to respond to emails, or it might even be that you're taking too long to plan and make your to-do lists. So those are the two things that you need to do for, it can just be for a week, even a couple of days, just however long it takes for you to figure it out. Now you might already know these two things, in which case you could skip the experimental phase. So for me, going into year 12, I've already figured them out, so I don't need to experiment, and I don't have time to experiment because I need to hit the ground running this year, and that might be the case for you too. So the first thing that you need to do, which is a very stereotypical tip, but it is to get yourself two things. One is a calendar or some sort of thing where you can plan out your week, and it has time slots and the days of the week, and you can plan out your week. And the second thing is to have a place where you write all of your to-do lists. So your calendar and your to-do lists could all be in the same notebook. You could have a bullet journal for it or something like that, or you could have a separate calendar and a separate place where you do your to-do lists. It doesn't matter, but you do need to have both. And so this is how I plan out my time through the week, and how I think you should too. So on Sunday night, before the beginning of a new school week, you should sit down with your calendar and roughly block out your week, so that you'll block out school, block out part-time work, block out any sports training, extracurriculars that you have on, and also block out meal times, travel times, and time that you take to get ready. So if you're showering in the evening, if you're however long you take to get ready in the morning. I know that sounds a bit pedantic, but you do need to block out all of your time, so you know the time you have left is the time that you have to work. And so once you've got all those things in your calendar for the week, you can then go back through the week and fill in the gaps, and those gaps are the opportunities that you have to do your schoolwork. From your experimenting phase, you will have hopefully figured out at what time of the day you work best, and you'll also have want to figure out approximately how long you want to study for each day. So say you want to study for about 3 hours each day, and you found that you work best in the morning, then you might wake up at 6 AM and work from 6 until 7:30, and then at 7:30 you get ready for school, and at 8 AM you leave for school, and then you have school, and then you come home and might unpack your bag, and then you've got to go straight to running training. This is sounding a lot like my day. And then you come home from running training, you have dinner, have a shower, and then at 7:30 PM you study for another hour and a half until 9:30 PM. And even though you study best in the morning and you might not study well at night, sometimes you don't have a choice and you've just got to put in that block of work at night as well. But on the weekends, then you could just study in the morning, and once it hits lunchtime, then you have the rest of the day free to do what you want to do, if you're someone who studies well in the morning. If you study well at night, then you could do the opposite. So that's kind of the first step that you need to do every week on Sunday night, just sitting down with your calendar, blocking out the week where you're doing things, and all the gaps are where you have opportunities to do schoolwork, and just put that all in your calendar. And now we're in one of those blocks of time. So say we're on Monday and we've just been to running training after school, had dinner, had a shower, and it's now 7:30, and you've got an hour and a half block where you have set aside to do your schoolwork. The first thing that you're going to do is write a to-do list in your to-do list notebook or notepad or whatever system you have. You're going to write a to-do list based off whatever homework and study you've got, obviously, of everything that you want to get done that night, and you're going to prioritize it using a 3-color system. So I just do this by using 3 different colored highlighters. So I'll write all the things down. I'll use one colour to highlight things that I absolutely need to get done that night, non-negotiable, I must get them done. The second colour is used for things that I do need to get done that night, but the world is not going to absolutely fall apart if I don't get done, but I really should get them done. And the third colour is used for things that optimistically I would like to complete that night, but it doesn't really matter if they don't happen because they can be moved to the next day and everything will be fine. So I just use 3 different colours and I go through my list doing that. And next to each item on my to-do list, I will write down roughly how long it takes, just an approximate guess, but do err on the side of like guesstimating a bit too much time. Like give yourself a little bit of extra time if you can for the task. So if you don't know if it's going to take 10 or 15 minutes, just write down 15 because it's better to have extra time than to run out of time. So once you have prioritized your tasks using that 3 colour system, then you just write yourself a time schedule. So say you've got a block of work from 7:30 until 9:30, that's 2 hours, and you just write yourself a time schedule. So you're going to start with the tasks that you need to get done that are highlighted in that first colour, and you'll just go through and write them down and then say they take you cumulatively an hour and 10 minutes, then you've got 50 minutes left, so then you go on to the next like colour tasks and go through them, and maybe they take you 45 minutes, and then you've got 5 minutes left of your study session, and you could maybe squish in one of the other little tasks that you don't need to get done but you would like to. So then you have a time schedule, you've planned out exactly what you're going to be doing in that 2-hour study session, and this should take you no longer than 5 minutes really. I've talked about it for a while and made it sound like it takes a while, but it takes me like less than 5 minutes. And then you can just get stuck into studying and stuck into doing those things on your to-do list. When you're working, I find that it helps to cross things off the list. So once you've done something, physically cross it off the list because it makes you feel like you're achieving more, and then you kind of want to get everything crossed off the list so you'll be more productive. And if you have like your 2-hour study session and you've got an hour and a half through it and you've already done everything on your time schedule, but you didn't put everything on your to-do list on your time schedule because you didn't think it was going to fit in based on the times you've given yourself, but it works out that these tasks took you less time, then I don't know if that made sense, but basically if you finish everything, then like move more things from your to-do list onto your time schedule and then like complete them. So don't stop your 2 hours of work early unless you literally have nothing else to do. By the end of your study session, if you didn't finish everything that was on your to-do list, then make sure you move it to the next day on your to-do list, like notebook or whatever. So you need to have a system where you can transfer tasks from one day to the next, and you'll actually see them the next day and you won't forget about them. And during the experimental stage, when you were tracking your time and finding what things were kind of siphoning off all of your time, maybe you were spending too long, you know, checking your emails or on your phone, remove those distractions for your study period. Get them out of the way, eliminate them, and just don't have them anywhere near you. So if it's your emails, then like quit your emails or block them using a web blocker or whatever. If it's your phone, then chuck it out the window. Just get rid of those distractions because they'll just drain your time. So that is how I manage my time throughout the week in high school. So now I'm just going to give you my top tips for time management. The first one is to schedule everything. You need to find a system that works for you and get everything down on that calendar, on that piece of paper, on that system, however you're doing it, but you need to schedule every little minute of your day. And I know that sounds really onerous and draining, and I know it can be like that, but I think during school that's what you need to do. And then during the holidays, just relax, you don't need time schedules, whatever. But during school, if you're busy and you're running out of time, then you need to schedule every last minute of your day to make sure you're making use of all of those minutes. Tip number 2 is to learn to say no to things you just don't have time to do. If you've been invited to a party on the weekend but you haven't done all of your schoolwork, then you just need to decide what's more important to you. Is socializing more important or are your grades more important? And I'm not saying either one of them should be more important. I'm not saying your grades should be more important. I'm not saying you shouldn't go to the party. But you just need to think about it and make your own decision on that. But you do need to learn to say no to things. So if you do decide that your grades are more important and you need to stay home and study, you just need to say no to going to the party. Tip number 3 is to always be looking ahead, be planning ahead. And this is especially important in school so you can see tests and due dates coming up, and then you can manage your time accordingly for those. So always be looking ahead and have like a whole term planner or a whole like monthly calendar or whatever, so you can see things that are coming up. And my extra special bonus tip number 4 is to schedule more time than you think a task will take for that task, because research has shown that most people tend to underestimate how long they're going to take to do something. So say you thought you were going to take 30 minutes to get ready in the morning, actually you'll end up taking 45 minutes. And if you keep doing that throughout the day, that's just going to mess up your time schedule. Studies have shown we tend to do this by up to like 1.5 times the original amount. Like, yeah, if we thought it was going to take 10 minutes, it actually takes 15 minutes. Thought it was going to take 2 hours, it actually takes 3 hours. So that's quite a big difference. So when you're making your schedule in a little bit of extra time if you can for each activity, just a little bit longer than you actually think it's going to take, because at the end of the day, if it ends up taking a short amount of time, then you've got extra time on your hands and you can make use of that. It's always better to have extra time at the end of the day than to run out of time. So that is all of my advice on time management in high school. I feel like I've been speaking for a really long time and I'm literally sweating, like literally drops of sweat are dripping down my arms because it is so hot in here, but I don't want to turn on the aircon because it's too loud, and I don't want to open the window for the same reason. But it is so hot. I feel like I've been talking for a long time, so thank you very much if you've got to this point in the video. I did spend quite a while planning this video, so I really hope that you guys have got something out of it, and hopefully it can help you with your time management in high school this year. I'm really going to try and upload a video at least once a week during the year, and they'll just be on study tips, revision tips, and videos like this one basically. And I'm also going to put some study with me's in there. Lots of exciting things like that. So don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you would like to see those types of videos. And don't forget to give this video a thumbs up to let me know that you enjoyed it, and comment any video suggestions that you have down below, because this video was suggested by someone who commented. I'll leave the comment here. It was a very nice comment. But yeah, this video was suggested by one of you guys. So I do read all of your comments and I do reply to all of them. And if you have a good video suggestion, then I'm gonna film it. So leave all of your suggestions down below. Thank you so much for watching this video. I really hope it's helped you, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. Bye! And now I'm gonna go turn the aircon on. Woo!